everyone, Katie Kaiser here with Katie Kaiser Coaching and Awaken Her Fitness, and we're going to do an awesome training today on goals. I think that goals can be looked at and they can add a negative outlook to your journey, or they can be looked at and it can be the most beneficial thing that you'll ever do. Why? When we have a goal, like I need to lose 50 pounds, it feels really daunting. It feels like, how in the world am I ever going to get through this? It just is this looming like chore that never gets completed. Imagine if you had dishes piled up for like 6 months and you never did them. It would feel like you wake up every single day and you're like, I need to get these dishes done. I need to get these dishes done. But it feels like the biggest task ever. So you just keep putting it off because it doesn't feel good, or you try to chip away at it. It doesn't feel like you made any progress. It's still the giant amount of pile of dishes that you have to do, and you never want to get them done. Same with losing 50 pounds, feels like this giant thing that never gets completed. So what we do is, instead of this giant goal that oftentimes is the real reason why we don't reach our goals, because we have too lofty of expectations for ourselves. Oftentimes, if we can switch that and we can break it up into simpler steps, it feels more achievable. Like, what if your dishes were in the sink and you said, today, all I'm doing is putting the plates in the dishwasher, and that's all you did. And then the next day, all I'm doing is putting the bowls in the dishwasher, and you just chipped away with it. And then all of a sudden, this massive amount of pile of dishes, because I guess you're a hoarder, these dishes finally get done because you just chipped away at it every single day. Same with your weight loss. If you just chip away at it every single day, the same thing happens. It starts to feel more achievable. It starts to feel like an attainable goal, because it's not this just giant thing that feels so unreachable. So here is our guide, your Fit Forever Goal Crusher Guide, your step-by-step guide to achieving your goals. We have a brand new lifestyle filled with possibilities. You're either watching this and you're with us for the very first time, or you're watching this and you've been with me for a minute and you're feeling stuck. This is a really good refresher for just anybody, so that we can make sure that we just ground ourselves in what our goals are and find those possibilities. You've got goals. We've got a plan to help you make them happen. Your Fit Forever Goal Crusher Guide was specifically designed to stop you from falling into the trap that causes most people to give up on their goals. You just need to do 2 simple things, but in a way you've probably never done them before. The 2 things: number 1, take action. You have to do the actual work of reaching your goals. Number 2, you have to follow through. You have to keep doing the work in a way that actually works. If you've been with me for a long time, you've probably heard the phrase, the triple S system. If you followed me on social media, anywhere, you've maybe seen me talking about it. Triple S system. First S, start small. That's taking action. Start small with, what thing are you going to actually take action for? It might have just even been that first phone call, taking action there. It might have been just doing workouts in the app, starting there. Now, second S is that you have to schedule it. You have to schedule out whatever it is that you want to accomplish. If you want to go for a walk, you have to get it on the calendar to hold yourself to it. Third thing, stick to it. And that's number 2 here, which is follow through. You have to keep doing the work in a way that actually works. So we're going to talk about some accountability processes as well as this training goes on, so that you always make sure that you can follow through and stick to it. Number 1 trap that people fall into with their goals. Ready for it? They try to do too much. They get overwhelmed and then they end up quitting. All those dishes seem so overwhelming. We quit because we don't want to do it. We'll do the easy thing. The easy thing is just buying takeout, honestly. All right, see if this sounds familiar. If I pause, it's because I have very hot coffee in front of me and I need to drink it before it gets cold and my children bug me. If this sounds familiar, you wake up on January 1st, super excited to revamp your body, your health, and basically your whole life. You have big plans, you drink more water, work out, eat clean, healthy diet, read more, meditate, the list goes on. You've got all these things to do. You go at it hard and you do really well for a couple of weeks. But then one day you end up with a gnarly craving and you splurge on your favorite greasy sandwich from your favorite lunch spot, which led to chips and then a cupcake. And then you didn't feel like working out and you started questioning if it was even all worth it, or if you could really just keep up this pace anyway. Sound familiar? Was the sandwich bad? No. The chips or the cupcake? No. Do I personally have a sandwich once in a while that's probably not the best sandwich with French fries in it? Of course. Do I have chips and cupcakes? Yes. The problem isn't that you're upset at yourself because you didn't follow your plan. And the problem is that you're upset because you didn't follow your plan. And instead of getting right back on track, you start feeling guilty. And then one day off, your plan turned into 2 and then turned into 3. And just like that, your New Year's goal became a thing of the past. And you find that you're right back on your list again, January the next year. The good news, no matter what time of year it is, this is not happening this time of year if you follow this system. That's because this Fit Forever Goal Crusher guide will help you avoid that giant trap. So let's get into the action steps and how it all works. Step 1, your first action is to set 1 or 2 specific goals that have real meaning for you. The goals should be something that you're doing for yourself and not anyone else. Here's a few ideas. Lose 15 pounds of body fat in the next 90 days. Be able to do 10 push-ups by February 15th. Run continuously for 1 mile in 6 weeks. Lower blood pressure or cholesterol before your next doctor's appointment in April. Read 1 book per month. Hold a 1-minute plank 30 days from now. Eliminate added sugars from your diet within 30 days. You'll notice that each of these goals are specific. They have a deadline, they're realistic, and you'll know exactly when and if you reach them. Good goal, lose 15 pounds of body fat in the next 90 days. Not so good goal, lose weight, or even lose 50 pounds. Not a good goal. Setting too many goals will set you up for failure. Pick your most important goal and start there. Take a minute to think about your most important goal for 2023 or whenever you're watching this, and then write it here, being as specific and realistic as you can be. So you're going to have a chance to download this workbook and you can fill out your information here. What is your goal? Why is it so important to you? Do some reflection. Step number 2 is to pinpoint 1 to 3 specific actions that you'll take to transform your goals into reality. Coffee break, 1 minute. These could be actions like working out, eating a healthy diet that fits your goal, meditating, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. If you've heard me talk about this before, our goals happen when we create those simple steps and we choose to believe that if we do these simple steps, our goals will be reached. If I do action 1, 2, and 3, if I walk for 5 minutes every single day, go to bed by 9 p.m., and eat 5 pounds of protein every day, those are my 3 actions. If I do those things, I believe that I will reach my goal. Don't come up with too many things, choose 2 to 3 actions tops. Some of you might even just be at 1. Walking for 5 minutes every day seems daunting, but if you could just do that, you do believe that you'll reach your goals. You can always add more later. The whole idea is to set yourself up for success with a realistic action plan. Step number 3, create 1 baseline and 1 stretch action goal. This will help you avoid the too much trap and make it a lot easier for you to actually stick to your plan. Your baseline goal. This is something you know that you can accomplish even on your busiest week, but that will move you forward. Examples: working out for 30 minutes, 3 days per week, eating protein with every meal, getting 15 minutes of fresh air, 3 days per week. Your stretch goal, as it says in the name, this is something that is going to stretch you, but it should also be doable. Work out 5 days a week for 45 minutes, meal prepping and tracking all of your weekday meals for 90 days, going for a 30-minute jog or walk every day outside rain or shine. Your baseline goal might even be a 5-minute walk 3 days per week. Your stretch goal might be a 5-minute walk for the next 30 days or the next 60 days, or a 10-minute walk the next 60 days. How to approach your stretch goal. Give yourself an extra pat on the back for reaching it, but also give yourself credit for reaching your baseline goals. Stretch goals are where a lot of people start, and unfortunately, it's where many people end. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic to have a stretch goal because it gives you something to aim for, but it can also cause too much stress and overwhelm on a daily basis because of limited time, energy, family, work, and other responsibilities. Missing even a few days of your stretch goal can do a real number on your motivation and morale. It can really make you want to quit. A better solution is to have a goal you know that you can reach, which is your baseline, but also go for gold, stretch when you have time and the energy. Can we turn that 5-minute walk into a 10-minute walk? What to do if you fall short of your baseline goal? Don't give up. Do something. Whatever action you didn't do, do it as soon as you can do it. Block off time in your schedule to make sure that it happens. Remember the Triple S system, schedule it. Treat it like a date with one of your favorite people in the world, or treat it like your job. You have to go to work in order to keep your job. You have to go on a 5-minute walk every day in order to keep your health. And if you do need to clear your head to recenter yourself, do that first. Go for a walk, do a workout, meditate or pray, go to bed early, hit it again tomorrow. It doesn't all have to happen every single day. If you've also been with me for a minute, I love the term from James Clear, 1% better every single day. Today, did we do just a little bit better than we did yesterday? Did we get 1% better? Does not matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop. How to use your checklist. Write down your goal to remind yourself what you're working toward. Then write both your baseline goal and your stretch goal. Mark the days you complete your goals on your checklist. We're about to see that in a minute. Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow that you want. All right, week 1, what's your main goal? What are your baseline goals? What are your stretch goals? You might only have one baseline and one stretch goal. That might just be it, and that's totally fine. Next week, maybe we have 2. Now you're going to write down what were the actions that you took for each of those. Did you do them? Check them off. Week 2, week 3, the downloadable PDF, last page, never give up. For that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Because you never know what's around the corner if you just keep going. All right. Am I still here? I believe that I am. In the view, we can always put me as speaker. Somehow Michelle is speaker. Let's see. All right, just drop a comment in the chat here if you're watching this live that you got to watch all of that it came through. And then if you're watching this on recorded, wherever you're watching and recorded, I would love for you to just take action and just be a part of the conversation. So did you find that? Okay, good. This went through. Did you find that helpful? Are you someone who has in the past set a huge goal right in front of you? And maybe it happens every January 1st and you're tired of it. And you're someone that forgets that it's okay to take smaller steps. Is that you? Is that not you? Have you found anything here helpful in that training? What was the most important part of that was helpful to you? You're going to have a chance to download the guide, do it on your own, upload it to wherever you've been instructed to upload it at the time. And you'll get a message for that, whatever program you're in with us. And then I do want to mention one other thing. And this is just a phrase that I think actually is adopted from AA. I'm not in that world. I think that someone told me this came from AA originally. So it's a phrase that I use with my kids, but I think it's a phrase that you need to use on your weight loss journey. I need to have a sip of coffee. Okay. A few things that you need to first figure out. Am I a visual learner? Am I an audio learner? Am I a kinesthetic learner? Visual learners need little mantras written all over the place, or they need a vision board. They need a reminder that they see consistently in order to keep going with things. Audio learners need it in their ear. Maybe these are people that listen to audiobooks on the way to and from work. Atomic Habits is amazing. If you haven't listened to it, that's James Clear, the 1% better. They just have something in their ear at many times of the day to keep them going. Maybe it's a podcast that you really have felt like really just gets you motivated, or just reminds you that you're not alone, you're not crazy, and your journey will be solved. You're not going to be stuck like this forever. Another book, if you are someone who struggles with anxiety and depression, Attacking Anxiety by Sean Johnson, not the gymnast, my lead pastor at Red Rocks Church. He wrote an amazing, amazing book for those who struggle with depression. I also can't quote him. I can't go without quoting him on saying that your journey, you are not crazy. This will end. And that third thing I just said, I forget what it was, but that's a phrase from Sean. But that book is amazing. If you're someone that's audio learner, you might need things like that in your mind every single day to remind you that you aren't alone in this. I think that's the third thing, you aren't alone. If you're a kinesthetic learner, someone that has to touch and feel things, or like even, you're working out and it's better if you are like put into the position of doing an air squat versus seeing someone do it or hearing someone do it. A kinesthetic learner needs to touch and feel things in order to have them be accomplished or feel like you're on the right track. And that might be someone that has their favorite dress that they want to fit back into hanging up in their closet. They can touch and feel it and actually like envision themselves in it. A kinesthetic learner and a visual learner can oftentimes commingle. A kinesthetic learner might see a sticky note, be able to like touch, feel a sticky note, just feel that, see it. A kinesthetic learner also just really works really well with taking measurements, like just, hey, like I can feel that, you know, things are getting smaller. Okay, so you need to decide which of those learners you are, but regardless of who you are, I do think sticky notes are amazing. Where am I? Okay, well, I have one sticky note with a bunch of dates on it, and I actually have no idea what these dates are for. So if I was supposed to be somewhere today, 7/13 is on my sticky note. That's today. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be somewhere. Sticky notes are amazing. I've got another sticky note tool to help you stay on track with nutrition. If you're working with us in our program, that'll show up at some point too for you. The sticky note tool for staying on track with nutrition is like insanely helpful. But sticky notes for writing down mantras are very helpful. I'm gonna move my light, it's blinding me. Sticky note mantra number 1 is 1% better every single day. If you just write down, sorry guys, I gotta move this. If you just write down 1% better, or even just 1%, and you put it on a sticky note in your car, on your steering wheel, in your pantry, in your fridge, somewhere where you go that is not normally a place where you always stick to your goals. So in your car, 1% better, meaning that's just my quick reminder that I should go home and eat the food that I prepped, because I'll just get 1% better if I do that. Remember, if I do these things, I believe that I will reach my goals, believing it to be true. 1% better on your pantry. If I don't go in my pantry for the chocolate bar that I normally go into my pantry for, and I get 1% better doing that today, I believe that my goals will come true. Maybe the thing that's on your sticky note is, if this, I believe that, you write that down. I'm the one that is adopted from AA, and I'll go back from that. And I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Someone correct me if I'm totally wrong, but play the tape through. This is something that I actually tell my kids about. Play the tape through. I'm just going to tell this story because it was on the news. There were some high schoolers that were up at Copper Mountain for spring break, and it was like 9 p.m. It's dark out. The lights are on. I don't actually think the lights were on. It doesn't matter, but I think that it was completely dark out, and it was 9 p.m. It's been dark since like 5. Some high schoolers hiked to the top of the half pipe, and they decided they were going to go sledding down it in the pitch black. So yes, I think it was dark. They sledded down it and they didn't make it. And it was so icy that it was so fast, and they flew off the end of it, and on impact didn't make it. I want my kids in any certain situation ever to think, play the tape through. What happens if I do this? Is the outcome good or is it bad? And my kids and I do that. You know, we'll be driving down the street, they don't have their seatbelts on, and I'm like, well, hold up, I thought you had your seatbelt on. And they'll say tape through. Okay, buckling. Because I'm like, what happens if you don't have your seatbelt on? What happens if you do have your seatbelt on? Like, play the tape through on both outcomes. Which one's the better one for you to choose? And if you're a mom watching this, it is something that I feel like is awesome with my kids, because we were sitting in the car, and this is a very like minor thing, but Eli's hand was on the window, and I started rolling up the windows, and he said, Mom, play the tape through. Like, I didn't know his hand was out the window. And actually, doesn't the window like stop it from like crushing something? I don't know, but he was like, Mom, play the tape through. My hand's out the window. Like, the tape through for me would have been, I would have crushed my kid's hand, versus like, hold up, like, get your hand out of the window. And it was like just a really cool moment when he caught on to that. But I think if we can teach our kids early enough, play the tape through, they're going to go through everything in life and be at the place where you are now with your weight loss journey. Play the tape through. I stop at McDonald's for a cheeseburger on the way home. Play the tape through. Will I feel good or will I feel bad? It's not even that you're going to feel bad, like physically, you're going to feel guilt. Guilt is the thing that you feel whenever you mess up or you feel like you failed on your goals. Play the tape through. How does that guilt feel? I have felt that before. It was awful. I don't want to feel that again. Play the tape through on the other side of things. Go home, eat the food that I made. I really just want that cheeseburger. Save it for a different day. Maybe it's not even a cheeseburger at that point, and I choose something a little bit even better. Maybe we make cheeseburgers at home. Well, play the tape through. What does it feel like to go home and eat that really healthy food that I've already prepped? A, proud of myself for sticking with my plan. No longer feeling guilty. B, feeling physically good and seeing results. C, not wasting money on food that I already made by now spending money going out to eat. There's probably D, E, and F in there somewhere too, but I think maybe play the tape through is the thing that you write on a sticky note and you have all over the place until it becomes a habit, which, by the way, it takes 16 weeks to build a habit. So if in 4 weeks you still want cheeseburgers, don't beat yourself up about it. It takes 16 weeks for you to finally be like, okay, my habit is going home to eat the food I made, not stopping at McDonald's. Like that habit is so ingrained in you. And this is another thing I want to talk about too. And I know this is like packed full of awesome stuff, but your habit, someone who eats chocolate all the time, you have a bad day, you eat chocolate. You have a good day, you eat chocolate. Someone said something mean to you at work, you eat chocolate. Your kids are throwing tantrums and going crazy, you eat chocolate. You get the picture. Chocolate is the thing that you just do. And the habit is when something good or bad happens, we either feel sorry for ourselves with chocolate or we reward ourselves with chocolate. It's just the habit that you have. You have to start changing that habit. Maybe the habit is someone said something bad to me at work today, didn't feel good. My boss got mad at me. I go for a 5-minute walk. My kids are going crazy. I take them on a 5-minute walk. My house is a disaster. I'm not going to sit there and feel sorry for myself with chocolate. I'm going to go for a walk, then clear my mind, come back and get to work. You get the picture. You start changing that habit into something else. However, when push comes to shove, and today you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. I turned to chocolate, or I turned to cheeseburgers, or I turned to ice cream, whatever it is. Today you're like, nope, no more. I'm going for a walk. From now on, I'm going for a walk every time that I want ice cream. Katie said I should go for a walk instead. That should be my new habit. You're not going to. Why? Because the habit has been so longly is not a word. I don't know the other word for that. You have ingrained the habit of chocolate or ice cream into your lifestyle for so long now that is the easy thing. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe you sit on the couch and you have a glass of wine at the end of the night. And I am going to say that, like you need to change that. You cannot be sitting there having wine every single night. My gosh, 1 second. Okay. Maybe that's your habit. You are always going to choose the thing that makes you feel good, gives you happiness, is like a release from the emotional or physical stress of the day. Could be chocolate, could be ice cream, could be alcohol. You're always going to choose that because it's the easy thing. It's really easy to take a top off of an ice cream container, grab a spoon, and just, finally, I feel better. That feels really good, right? And you know that, like your mind knows what that feels like. So it's going to tell you, stressful day. I know Katie said go for a walk instead, but ice cream it is. And then you feel like a failure because you just keep doing the thing that you told yourself you weren't going to do. How do we get out of that? We start building the habit of a 5-minute walk every single day now, so that when push comes to shove, your mind already knows, wait, a 5-minute walk feels really good too. Okay, let's do that. Katie said to do that. I'm going to do that because it feels good. You're not now trying to, in your mind, rationalize. Is that a word? Yes. You're not trying to decide between walk or ice cream in the moment when walking hasn't been a habit yet. You're now like, oh, walking actually gives me better endorphins. Now your mind is starting to tell you, hey, like we didn't even have to question the ice cream. Let's go for the walk. I truly hope that that was such a mind-blowing, like, I hope that you're like, oh my gosh, that is what's been happening. I've been choosing the easy thing because it's just the habit that I have built. Okay, the last thing that you can write down on a sticky note is, well, just to wrap up those two things, the sticky note thing that you can write is play the tape through, but the thing that you need to be doing is building the habit on these small goals that we just talked about, so that when push comes to shove, you choose the habit that your mind tells you now is the thing that's good for you. Okay, let me know if that did not make sense, but I'm pretty sure it does. The last thing that you can write on a sticky note, I'm going to wrap it up with this. Weight loss is a choice. You either make the right choice or you don't make the right choice. And you either play victim and make excuses for why it didn't work, or you actually take action and stay accountable, and you take ownership of everything. You are the only person that sits on your couch and decides, should I go for a walk or not? Okay, it's a choice, yes or no. You're also the only person that makes the excuse for why it didn't happen. Didn't go for a walk today, it was too hot. Didn't go for a walk today, it was raining. Didn't go for a walk today because I don't know where my shoes are. I don't care. You're the only person that came up with all of those excuses, and they are not legit excuses. You have an inside, you live inside a house. Yes, I don't know how big it is, but you could walk for 5 minutes in your house, up and down stairs. That's even better because now you're moving your body weight up and down stairs, and it becomes a resistance training exercise too. Okay. It was raining. You still live inside a house. For some reason, you don't live in a big enough house to go around a walk in. I don't know. I mean, go to the grocery store and walk laps around the grocery store. Go to the local gym if you have one. That costs money. It's free to go to the grocery store to walk around it. It's free to walk inside your house. If you're a mom or you're a grandma and you watch your kids, come up with a fun sticky note game with the kids and say, like, hey, let's do a scavenger hunt. Make the kids hide all the sticky notes for you, and now you have to go walk around the house to find the scavenger hunt things. Okay. There are so many ways for you to get out of those excuses, and I know that you haven't thought of them yet. I know that you're sitting there and you'll make excuses every single second of the day until someone tells you you're making excuses. It's tough love. I love all of you, but you are making excuses. And until someone tells you that there's another idea for you, you're going to keep making them. I now told you, walk around your house, walk up and down the stairs. You no longer are allowed to make that excuse because you now are aware of the fact that there's other things for you to do. You get a pass one time because you might not have even realized, like, I could walk around my house. That's something I thought of for you, because that's my job. Now you have some ideas. You have to do them. You can't have that excuse anymore. Weight loss is a choice. I didn't bring my food to lunch today for work. Shoot, I have to eat out of the cafeteria. I don't have time at work to eat. Excuses. Let me just balance this statement with saying that I'm not in your world. I don't know your work. I don't know how challenging and how taxing it is. I know specifically in the healthcare industry, it is very hard to break away from things. However, I've worked with many people in the healthcare industry, and even just having a protein bar in your locker and just like having it as you just stop by it is a thought that you might not have come up with before. And that's all right. We come up with those thoughts together, help work through them, but you no longer allowed to make an excuse. So you need to ask yourself, am I playing victim, and am I making excuses for why even my small goals don't happen? And if I am, what is the alternative? Or can I ask my coach, what's an alternative thing that I can do so that I can actually stick with my goals? Because I realize I'm playing victim. I don't want to be victim. I want to take ownership. And I know it's tough to hear. We are all victims. I still play victim on stuff sometimes. We're just born like that. So it's hard to hear that, but there is a choice to be made. Good choice versus bad choice. Are you always going to make the good choice? No. Can you get 1% better every single day? Not feel guilty? Yes. Go back to this goal crusher guide. Anytime that you feel stuck, review it and say, have I been following these little action items? Yes or no. If you haven't, revisit that, ground yourself. If you have been following them, maybe you need some more action items or we need to chat. So, okay, I hope that that training was amazing. I hope that you're like definitely mind blown on a few things. Write mind blown in the comments of wherever you're watching this and let me know if it was something where you're like, okay.